Welcome back to Living with ME. This is part 3, A Life Worth Living. It is time now to take charge of your life. ME does not resolve itself on its own. You must make changes. Maybe they're at work, maybe they are activities, smoking, alcohol, drug use, sleep, diet. There's many things that could possibly start making things go a lot better for you. If you want to function better, you need to look at what needs to change. You and your health need to be the priority. Get support. Counselors, coaches, support groups, family, friends. Reach out to others and figure out what and who makes you feel better. Don't be afraid to tell healthcare professionals what you want and need. If something isn't working for you, helping you feel better, then stop doing it. It's important to identify your priorities for you and your healthcare providers and let the rest go. Identify what it is you need. ME equals limited energy supply, and exercise does not work for us. So find some gentle ways of moving your joints and muscles every day if you have the ability. Even a lot of our bedridden patients gave us exercises or movements they were doing in bed, whether it was flexing their hands or their feet or moving them around, rolling gently from side to side. All of us need to keep moving. Everything must be started slowly with very small amounts and very gradually increased, whether it is trying new food, a new treatment, or a new movement program. Don't push yourself. Pushing through can create post-exertional malaise and crashes. This means that all your symptoms may get worse, so stop as soon as you notice the fatigue and do what you need to do, which is rest. Make sure you're lying down, getting quiet, becoming aware of what is happening to your body, mind, and emotions. Now we'd like to move on to our last video. This video provides the answers ME patients gave us to the question, how do you keep hope alive and move forward?
I do the things I love and I can still do.
Gratitude for what I do have and can do.
Enjoy the small pleasures in life to the max.
Practice mind, body, spirit every single day.
Get a few people that understand you, that listen, that believe in you, and don't worry about everybody else.
Having faith that solutions will soon be discovered.
Having a smartphone is helpful because I can Google things and get answers.
Treasure and enjoy the good energy days.
Accept low energy days and do what I know to get better.
I do what I can. I see friends as I'm able.
I do what I can and I make the most of every moment.
I have some great professionals helping
I
me.
try not to overexert.
I've learned a lot from books and internet on good days.
I love myself and give myself all the love I'd want given to me.
I honor my disability, I accept my limitations, and discovered new strengths.
Try to get as much positive support as possible.
I give myself permission to be kind to myself.
I treat myself every once in a while.
I laugh every day.
I listen to my body. I usually have something to look forward. I meditate every day. If I can't get out, I call someone every day. I walk in the fresh air every day.
I try to be mindful in the moment as much as possible.
I let go of things I can't do or control.
I volunteer for things I'm able to do, so I feel like I'm contributing.
I have my dog to keep me going.
I let go of things I can't do or control.
I've learned to ask for help.
I'm a member of a support group.
I try to stay on top of promising research.
I connect with others sick like me on Facebook.
I take life a day at a time.
It's not your fault.
People who improve, they do what really matters and let the rest go. They're patient and don't give up. They keep doing the things that help and they stop doing the things that don't help, and they adapt, adapt, adapt. And we have some examples of that. Allison's friend, she really missed skiing. So her support group challenged her to go and just do one run. So she went up to the ski hill and did a run on the bunny run and came home and had such a good experience from it that she just started to very slowly and incrementally work herself back up to being able to ski again. She ended up moving to Whistler to be close to the mountain, and she skis regularly now. Not like she did before she got ill, but she's still out there and enjoying it. And another example is our own Michelle, who loved to read books, but when she was at her most ill, just found she was unable to, even look at the printed word. So she decided what she would do is lie down and just read one page. And then over time, she was able to build up very slowly from one page to more and more and more and more until she was able to read again. What you do must be tailored to your individual health status. We're all on this continuum of health. Some people are at 5% and they lift their head up and faint if they're lying down on the bed, and other people are at a much higher level of health status. We're all different. Sometimes we move on that continuum, so we have to find what works individually for us. We're all in different places in this health experience. Don't be afraid to let go of some of the things that you love doing for a while. You may be able to adapt them or pick them up later. I know I wanted to go to my high school reunion, but I was afraid I'd crash. It just was going to be too overwhelming. So I got on the reunion committee, and that way I could reach out to people while I was looking for them, had their contact information. I could talk to them before, I could contact them after the reunion. And when it came to the actual reunion, I just sat at the name tag table and saw people when they came in. I wasn't able to visit for long, but at least I got to see them. And then I've been able to, continue on later and visit at a later date in a way that works for me. So just adapting is helpful. Our next slide is about trusting yourself. Every one of us is different. Trust your own knowing for what is right for you, and listening to your body, trusting your body, believing in yourself and your truth. And if something doesn't help after a reasonable trial, move on. Don't give up. You hear us repeating the same messages over and over and over again, because that's what patients and we ourselves have found really helpful and important to us.
Here is our prescription for your health. Managing your illness can be a full-time job, and we may feel frustrated that we can't get back to the life we once knew. It's important to find balance. It's important to have fun and enjoy life at the same time. Fun is actually therapy for healing. It can regulate the nervous system and create new pathways in the brain. Be grateful, focus on what's good, focus on what you can do and what is going well, helping you feel better and happier. Keep learning. Find support from health professionals, friends, and family. And always remember, you're more than your illness. Here's something that I learned that really made a big difference for me. I don't know about you, but when I was a child, if I was homesick, it meant I was homesick and I wasn't allowed to go out and play and do things like that because my job was to get better. And so when I first became ill, I took that same mentality into this illness. And it really didn't work that well. That sort of strategy works for acute illnesses or temporary illnesses, but chronic illness is much different. We have to figure out how to live our lives and also help ourselves recover from the illness. And so we're socially conditioned to feel guilty about having fun when we're not being productive or contributing members of society. And it's not helpful for when we have a chronic illness. As we keep saying here, having fun and enjoying yourself really helps your body come out of the fight and flight and into the healthy zone where your body can actually help itself repair. So letting go of social norms can help us to be more open, fun, and have happiness and balance in our healing. And we strongly encourage it. So take the first step. You've hopefully by now been able to listen to all 3 of the videos. And what we encourage you to do now is to pick an area of your life where you think you can make the most difference in your health, whether it's physical, social, learning, family, spiritual. Pick something that spoke to you and get started. We're certainly not suggesting that you do everything we're talking about all at once. That would be crazy. So pick one area, maybe physical. Maybe you're going to just walk to the mailbox or do 1 load of laundry. Or maybe you're going to call a friend or join an online forum or send someone a card. Maybe your choice is to notice your body and make notes about what you observe. Read a book about chronic illness or loss. Read a thriller or watch a comedy. Charting, watching a TED Talk or a YouTube video, join an online forum again. Maybe with your family, you want to plan a family activity, have a heart-to-heart with someone in your family you want to get closer to. Or maybe it's about your health and you want to choose a regular wake time, take a warm bath with Epsom salts before bed, cook or order in a healthy meal. The list is really endless. It's really about finding a way to take the first step towards health, knowing that it's a long journey. This illness does not resolve easily. So take the first step, get started, and we're really hopeful that something's going to work for you. Judy Ann is going to take us into our final comments.
This brings us to the end of our video series. To recap, some of the important reminders are: you are not alone. Becoming self-aware and listening to your body are vital to your recovery. Start low, go slow. Be gentle with yourself. Keep doing what works and feels good and let the rest go. Be flexible, adapt and change. Allow yourself to reach out for help. Once everything is feeling more manageable, start taking small risks and exploring new areas of growth and learning. Find the joy in every day and express gratitude every day. I wanted to end, and we'd all like to end by just sharing a bit of our own personal experience. I'd like to talk to you about acceptance. When I first got ill, and it took many, many years for this illness to actually take me down to the place where I could no longer function at all. It took about 4 years for that to happen. And by the time I was bedridden, and even after my diagnosis, I was still pushing through constantly, still trying to work, still trying to ensure that I could provide an income for my only child and myself, and really, really struggling. When I was told that I had to accept what was going on for me, that was one of the hardest things I heard. That I had to accept that I had ME, and that, all these things that were happening to me were part of the illness, and I was going to have to come to a place where I actually accepted that I was not well. That felt so hard. I went through a lot of tears and a lot of lonely days at home, alone in a lot of pain. But somehow, and I'm not sure I remember exactly the moment it happened, but there was a moment when I decided, okay, this is it. I guess I just have to deal with life from this point, exactly where I am. And in that moment, I talked to myself and said, like, you're tired all the time, you can't work. I just ran through everything that was going on for me, almost kind of confirming for myself in words what was happening. And I have to say, I do remember the days after that, because suddenly everything started to get a lot easier. I started figuring out how to become more and more willing and open-minded about changing the way that I did things. And that's how I finally discovered a lot of these management techniques. So that was huge. Another huge step for me was, it was suggested at one point when I was doing okay, but not the happiest, was to make a gratitude list every day. And to do that was suggested at night before I go to bed, write down 4 things I was grateful for. Well, the first couple nights of that were not, I wasn't very productive. I really had a hard time with that. Oh, and the other suggestion was that I should do it every single day for a full year. And that every time I didn't do it, I had to start counting all over again. So in the end, it took me 3 years to actually get to the point where I was making a gratitude list every single day. And I have to tell you, that changed my life totally. By the time I finished doing that, I had a list of millions of things I was grateful for. I was so much happier. It just changed my life. So I'm going to give the other members of our Patients Helping Patients group also a chance to let you hear some of their stories. Michelle?
Thank you, Judy Ann. I'm just bear with me. I want to read this because I can't bring all of this into my mind and be able to share it with you. So allow me. So by far for me, using neural retraining to influence autonomic nervous system regulation is what moved me from severe to moderate ME. So this is my 9th year of using various neural retraining strategies, and I can say without hesitation, without any hesitation at all, I would not be where I am today without them. So what I've learned about how to help my system regulate is now a way of life for me. Doesn't work for everybody. We're all different, but for me, that was really what helped me most. And then a second thing that was really, really useful for me is I've learned to ask myself, the question I've learned to ask myself is not, can I do this? The question is, can I do this and be well? That's a totally different question. And then that leads to, how can I do this and be well? So when I take those questions seriously, I'm usually okay. Karen.
I can relate to what both Michelle and Judy Ann said. For me, acceptance was the first step. Once you can accept the illness, which it was a journey for me, but once I was able to accept the illness, it helped me to get out. I wasn't fighting the illness anymore, and it helped me to get out of that fight and flight state and into the rest and digest parasympathetic mode. Once that happened, then I was able to explore the self-management tools that we've discussed here today, what works for me, and finding those strategies also helped my body get out of the constant crashing crisis mode that it was in, either from not pacing appropriately, not eating the way my body needed, or not sleeping the way it needed, getting into a rest state. That all of that helped me to stabilize. And then once I stabilized, I was then able to do some of the neural retraining that Michelle mentioned. And really working, for me, what's really important is that parasympathetic rest and digest state. So doing deep relaxation every day, that's part of my pacing. It's also part of bringing my system into a place of calm and that rest and digest, and utilizing there's so many neuro techniques out there that are, I found very, very beneficial. My pain levels, working with my pain levels, they've dropped hugely, drastically. My entire health status and life experience is so much more positive. So all of those things came into really important keys for me, really important strategies. And my life is so much better as a result of that.
I want to echo what was said earlier by the others, and I'll just add a few, maybe a couple of different ones, things that helped me. One of them was having a good medical team. And in particular, I was so fortunate to connect with Dr. Allison Bested, and she was just fabulous at helping me in the early years. I also spent countless hours educating myself, from taking webinars to going to support groups to taking classes on different things. And I can't stress enough how important it is to educate yourself as much as you possibly can. And there were days I could only spend 5 or 10 minutes at a time, but it kept building, and it was worth it, worth every cent. There is a lot of garbage out on the web, unfortunately, but there's an awful lot of good stuff as well. And the more you know about this illness, the more you can do to take better care of yourself. The next thing that has been said already is accepting the fact that you're ill. I didn't even realize I was in denial until we had an event that I thought I could handle with ease, and I crashed like a ton of bricks, and it registered very hard that I really was sick. And once I accepted that, that was a key turning point for me. I went from a very low functioning score and started to climb the ladder back to a life that was tolerable and had some level of quality to it. And I increased that significantly by getting into volunteering. And I started to give little bits of my time to supporting the cause. I got into May 12th and trying to promote it. And it just built from there up to and including now running Action Sin. And I just spend all my time now volunteering, and it keeps me going. It's just amazing. You feel useful and contributing to society. I can't stress it enough. And last but not least, I had the benefit of a fabulous dog that kept me going the whole time. So I encourage you, if you can do it, get a pet, or at least get someone in your life that will support you.
Thank you to all of you for coming and viewing our video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's given you some hope and has offered you some little thing that you can try. Wherever you are in your illness journey, we hope you learned something in this video series that does help you. We wish you all the best in the future. Thank you.